Imagine this. You're standing at crossroads and someone asks you to make a choice. Logic on one side, emotions on the other. You pause because deep down, you already know the truth. The choice was never yours. Your brain made it 3 seconds before you even realized it. This is the lie we've been fed, that you control your mind, that reason sits in the driver's seat, that emotions are just passengers you can ignore. But the reality is darker, stranger, and far more powerful than you think. Let's destroy that myth right now. Your emotions don't wait for logic to arrive. They act first. Think about the last time you felt rejected in a relationship. Maybe she didn't text back. Maybe he seemed distant during communication. What happened inside your mind? Did you sit down, analyze the facts, weigh the evidence like some philosopher? No. Your brain flooded with anxiety before you could think. Your body tensed. Your habits kicked in. You check your phone again. You replayed the conversation. You spiraled. Emotions hijacked you in seconds. And logic? Logic showed up late to the party, trying to make sense of the mess. This is what neuroscience reveals. Your emotional brain, the limbic system, processes information faster than your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thinking. Emotions fire first, always. Logic is the translator, not the author. So when you say, I think this way, what you really mean is, I feel this way, and now I'm finding reasons to justify it. This is the hidden psychology of attraction, of confidence, of every decision you make. You're not as logical as you believe. Here's where it gets darker. Your mind doesn't just react emotionally. It builds entire stories to protect those emotions. Psychologists call this emotional reasoning. You feel insecure, so your brain finds evidence that you're not good enough. You feel unworthy of love, so your thinking creates patterns that confirm it. You feel anxious about relationships, so your mind convinces you that everyone will leave. It's a trap, a cognitive loop where emotions feed thoughts, and thoughts intensify emotions. The cycle never stops unless you see it. Think about overthinking for a second. You're lying in bed, replaying a conversation from 3 days ago. What did she mean when she said that? Why did he look at you that way? Your logic tries to solve it, but it can't because the real problem isn't logical. It's emotional. You're afraid of rejection, of misunderstanding, of losing control. And your mind, desperate to protect you, spins endlessly trying to find an answer that doesn't exist. This is the illusion of control. You think if you just think harder, you'll figure it out. But thinking isn't the solution when emotions are the source. So here's the insight you need to burn into your brain. Emotions are not the enemy. They're the engine. Logic is just the steering wheel. If you ignore your emotions, they don't disappear. They go underground and sabotage you in ways you don't even see. Your confidence cracks. Your relationships fail. Your decisions lead you in circles because you're trying to drive without fuel. Let me give you a real example. You're in a relationship and something feels off. You can't explain it logically, but your gut screams at you. What do most people do? They ignore it. They rationalize. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe it's just stress. Maybe I'm being too emotional. And then, months later, the truth comes out. The person was lying or pulling away or using you. And you realize your emotions knew the whole time. They were giving you signals, but you silenced them with logic. This is the psychology of self-betrayal. You abandon your emotional intelligence because you've been taught to worship rationality. But here's the paradox. True intelligence is knowing when to trust your emotions and when to question them. Not one or the other. Both. Now, let's flip this into power. If emotions control you, and you can't stop that, then the question isn't, how do I shut them down? The question is, how do I train them? This is where philosophy meets psychology. Ancient Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. They didn't deny emotions, they studied them. They asked, why am I feeling this? Not to suppress it, but to understand it. Because once you understand your emotions, you stop being their slave. You become their conductor. This is emotional mastery. You feel anger. You don't explode or bury it. You pause. You name it. You ask what it's protecting. You feel anxiety. You don't spiral or freeze. You breathe. You ground yourself. You separate the feeling from the story. You feel attraction. You don't chase blindly or sabotage yourself. You observe it. You understand your patterns. You choose consciously. This is the transformation from reactive to responsive, from controlled to confident. And it changes everything: your relationships, your habits, your entire psychology. Because you're no longer fighting yourself. You're integrating yourself. So here's the truth that no one tells you. Emotions versus logic is the wrong battle. It's not a war. It's a partnership. Your emotions give you data, fast, raw, instinctive. Your logic gives you structure, slow, deliberate, strategic. Together, they create wisdom. Apart, they create chaos. Most people live in chaos because they've been taught to pick a side. Be logical, be strong, don't feel too much. Or embrace your emotions. Follow your heart, don't overthink. Both are traps. Real power is in the integration. Feeling fully, thinking clearly, and choosing wisely. That's where confidence lives. That's where attraction grows. That's where freedom begins. So the next time you're standing at that crossroads, emotions pulling you one way, logic another, don't ask which one is right. Ask what both are trying to tell you. Because the answer isn't in choosing one. The answer is in listening to both. This is the secret your mind has been hiding from you. You're not your emotions, and you're not your thoughts. You're the awareness between them. And once you step into that space, everything shifts. The confusion fades. The insecurity dissolves. The power returns. Not because you've conquered your emotions or perfected your logic, but because you've stopped fighting and started integrating. That's the path. And it's been there all along, waiting for you to see it. The question was never which one controls your life. The question is, when will you take control back?